Glad that you're here with us on Morning Express. It's time for lifestyle. Now, many of us will agree that women have for a long time done wonderful, wonderful things. And I would say even society has seen leaders developed by women. I mean, look at some of our families, really. We have been brought up by single mothers, but oftentimes they're not given the opportunity and the chance to be leaders, despite the fact that they have shown very, very powerful and good leadership skills just by virtue of some of the things they do. Now, an organization has said they'll not just sit in the periphery and watch, but have created a platform as to where women are given a voice that otherwise would not have a voice. And this is Women in the Red. And joining me to talk about this is Josephine Karianjahi, who is the Country Engagement Coordinator. Thank you for joining us. And there's also Purity Wangui, who is the Chair for WASWA, Women Student Welfare Association. Although outgoing, you're still the chair, right? Yes. Okay, fantastic. Now, I'll start with you, Josephine, and tell me, first of all, a little bit about Women in the Red. What is that all about?
Women in the Red is a campaign that was started as part of a global initiative to highlight initiatives that are really bringing women's empowerment and gender equality into the conversation. And so Women in the Red is an initiative of Women and Girls Lead Global, which is a USAID and Ford-founded program, which is taking this initiative of stories about women and bringing them to different community members across Kenya. We have partners who take these documentary films and share them with partners who are in the field. So they could be working on financial empowerment, they could be working on education, access to proper maternal health, but the groups that they work with really get to talk a lot more about what can I do as an individual, what have we done as women in this community. And we've taken that a step further and engaged with different media partners who have created radio and now TV segments about different women and girls leading across Kenya. So we are really taking this conversation further, picking it apart and letting people see the individual story behind these young or older women who are leading in Kenya, and then looking back and saying, if you've been inspired by this story, what do you want to do? Can you take on the next step? Can you take on a certain challenge in your community together with other community members? Okay,
let's just focus first of all on the name, Women in the Red. Yes. When you talk about somebody being in the red, normally it means they're in debt or they're in trouble. Yes. So what does this Women in the Red specifically mean? Women in the Red is a title that really talks about underrepresented areas, these red zones. So it is a dangerous place to be, where we don't recognize the strength and skills of all the members of our community. And women are the bulk of the community members, but they're not as visible. If they're in non-traditional roles, they're not recognized in the same ways that men are. And so Women in the Red seeks to really talk about women who've transcended these red zones and really started to shine in their communities and now have a chance to really inspire people. Okay. Purity, what has Women in the Red done for you as, first of all, maybe you can start with your journey as a leader. You're a leader by virtue of the fact that you're the chair of the Women Student Welfare Association. But how did that begin?
I started my leadership journey 3 years ago as I just finished campus. So in first year, I was a student. From first year to fourth year, I've been a student leader. I started as a Congress lady with a capacity of 500 female students. And then I went to being a Secretary General of the Women Student Welfare Association, and then now the chair. What we do in WASWA, we call it WASWA, we empower the young women with the official mouthpiece of the female student at the University of Nairobi, and we are also progressing to other campuses. We partnered with Women in Red to also ensure more women, especially in campus, take up leadership positions and also their voice to be heard. And apart from that, even in my society, I'm from Nakuru, I've partnered with Women in Red, and also how to empower the young women from the society, you know, to just take up leadership position and programs that can benefit them as well. Okay,
how has Women in Red helped you as an individual?
As an individual, There's a program we run together. There's a mentorship program I run, whereby I have a group of young women who I mentor always. So Women in Red come in and also enable me to have these discussions with the young people, and also reach out to these young women. And also as a person, I have grown, you know, having people to mentor you into leadership and to support you. I think that's the basic.
All right. Now, just in listening to Purity's gradual stepping into a leadership position, it evidently has not begun with her being a leader of Warsaw. She started with 500 students. And maybe before I come to your question, how did you become the leader of those 500 students? Did you campaign for it?
Elective positions.
Okay, and they voted you in.
Yes.
Okay, so Josephine, looking at that, one might ask the question: why do we need a platform for her, for example, whereas she has already come out strong as a leader right from the beginning, and that should continue even to now other levels, even whether it's national. That strength is already seen right from being a student. Why does she need a platform?
I think there's a real question around what's the pathway to leadership. Where does someone even start? Because a lot of times people look at their mentors, and I've had mentors, and Purity has mentioned the importance of mentors, and seeing them where they are now, you don't really get to hear every day their story. So by sharing stories like Purity's and other women who are entrepreneurs, who are you know, participating in their county very actively, we hope to inspire people who are sitting and watching today and listening on radio, and also at the community level, to think about what can an individual do, where does an individual start. And what we've done is, even what you've heard about Purity's story, is go beyond and ask people and talk to her community, we've talked to parents, we talked to people who have interacted one-on-one with each of the women leaders we've featured, and look at, you know, the totality of the process, because women's stories are often told in 2D, you know, just very, this is who I am, this is the leader I am. We are looking to expand that definition and also make people really connect the way they would connect with my sister, my cousin, the lady next door, just to make that connection between leadership as we understand it and the people in my community. So that's where we've managed to actually feature stories like Purity's, and also to celebrate different people at the very community level.
Okay. Purity, what have you studied? What did you study in campus?
I majored in marketing and minored in human resource.
Do you see your leadership as a woman only confined to your time in campus, or is this something that you'd want to pursue later in life?
It's something I'd want to pursue later in life. I think I have seen the results of leadership, and being able to being a voice to the voiceless has been one of the major impact I've managed to do. So I'd want to continue in future as a leader.
Okay. And would you say women leadership in this country maybe has been sidelined? What would your take be on that?
I think we are getting somewhere first, but women in Kenya, there was a time they were very much sidelined, but more women are taking up positions. More women, it's like a baby, yeah? A baby does not start walking immediately. I think more women are taking up these positions and seats, and in different positions in politics.
So there is progress.
There is progress.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and Josephine, one might argue, we've had this debate before, that there's been so much focus on the girl child. There's been so much focus on the woman, to a point where society might be bearing the fruits of now not concentrating on the boy child. Why would Women in Red specifically look at women leadership as opposed to wholesome leadership of the society? Because really, we need leaders from all angles and from all areas.
I like that you say we need leaders from all angles. We need a more diverse leadership. And I think that when we look at the debate about the girl child, it's not the girl child versus the boy child. It's looking at children in totality and seeing how much are we really investing in them. And looking at what we do at Women in the Red is looking at communities where leaders like Purity are they are present, they're participating. They're not leading just women. They're leading men, they're leading youth, they're leading people with disabilities, they're leading people who own businesses, parents, children. So it's bringing a conversation, a part of the conversation that has been sort of lumped together with a lot of other issues, and separating it out and saying, if we are to have a society that recognizes the boy child as well as strengthens the men in the society, it has to acknowledge the strength and the skills that women and girls bring to the family, to different homes, and also just to the nation at large.
Okay. And well, if you're watching from home, we're talking to Josephine Karianjahe and Purity Wangoi from Women in the Red, mainly talking about how to create a platform that gives women a voice that they wouldn't have otherwise had, because they're doing wonderful and great things out there. However, not being given the opportunity to become the leaders that they ought to be. So if you'd like to participate in the conversation, you're welcome to. The phone lines are now displayed on your screen. You can also tweet at Michael G. Gitonga or at Sophia Wanuna. And I'll come to you, Purity. And you've talked about the importance of mentors. Do you have a mentor? Did you have one?
I have a lot of mentors. In politics, in life, one of my mentors is Kennedy Odede. He's the CEO of Shofco in Kibera. He's doing an amazing job. So in this journey, he gives me the guideline on how to be a leader, and also how to go out of your way, how to make an extra mile to just be a change in society. Yeah.
Okay. And do you have women mentors that maybe you look up to?
Yeah, I do. I love Martha Karua. We talk a lot. And also Kewapa, there's this program they're doing about mentoring the young women, yeah, a 5-year program. So for me, Mheshimiwa Rachel Shebesh is my mentor. She's been my mentor for the next 5 years. So she's been taking step by step. She's been taking me through a step by step in this journey, and also guiding me on the things to say, things not to do, you know.
When you say she's guiding you on things to say and things not to do, are some of those things what you see her doing and you say, this I would not want to do, or does she literally talk to you?
She talks to me. She talks to me. We have on a monthly, weekly, anytime. She's just she's an amazing person. Okay. A phone call away, and she's guided me a lot.
All right, we've talked about the what, and Josephine, let's talk about the how to. How is Women in Red giving that platform to people like Purity?
Well, we recognize that, yes, we can talk on TV, we can talk and have documentary screenings, but we've gone further and actually created a connection with radio, and had a chance to go and take the stories of these different women from the different counties. We've gone to Kirinyaga, we've gone to Uasin Gishu, we've been to Baringo, Homa Bay, Kisumu, and a few other counties where we are going to talk to these women and then share back the stories with radio listeners. So where people usually listen to radio, they can hear these stories, then Kiswahili. We ourselves give the community a chance to respond to these stories, and we've had very critical, very honest, and also very positive feedback about sharing stories only about women. But only what I can say is that a lot of men are thinking about how they can actually make the women in their homes shine, and having people call in, talk to us, send us emails and say, I really got inspired to make that extra leap, to share the resources in my home with my spouse, or to open a shop for my daughter, or to educate both my daughters and my sons in the same way. That really encourages us and helps us really strengthen the concept that we do need to keep this conversation going beyond this current engagement. But we've had such support from different media partners. We've had journalists take up the stories and share them. And so we are seeing a real support for the work that the media establishment in Kenya has been doing to support women leaders and sort of bolstering those efforts in the way we engage with media.
Okay, I'm sure that you probably agree with me that majority of the stories that we hear, whether be it men or women, and this specifically with women, are found in the urban areas, because that's where you have access. It's easy to get to them. Are you doing anything about going really into the mashinani and getting some of those women who are making that difference, that positive impact that nobody else will ever see?
Yes, we are. We've actually had, ever since we started engaging on a media level, had people call us and say, come and hear my story. Come to my community. There's this person you really have to meet. And we've responded to that and actually dedicated time, resources, and actually FaceTime to talk to the different people in the communities. And we hope to share those stories in the middle part of the year as we go forward.
Okay.
Yes.
And Purity, how has Women in the Red helped you? What response have you got from the platform that they have given you to actually now share your story?
It's an amazing platform, yeah. There's a time they have done my story via the website, the blog, and I really got so many people getting inspired out of the story. Yes, on Saturday I did an interview with Radio Maisha. It's going to be on air on Wednesday. So they've given me a platform to share my story into, as a woman, as a young woman in leadership, how everyone else can be, how every young woman can, get into leadership and excel in it.
All right, we'll take a call from Josephine in Lamu. Good morning, Josephine. Josephine?
Yeah, from Lamu.
Yes, Josephine.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, mimi nauliza. Hao kwa huyu mama Josephine. Wanawezaje kuja kama Lamu ambapo wana shida nyingi ya kina mama kwa sababu ya interaction ya Waswahili na watu from back country. Ili waweze kusaidia wamama, waweze kuwa pamoja, wanaweza kuwa pamoja. And when can they come to such an account?
Okay. All right. Thank you, Josephine. You share a name?
Yes, we do.
All right, Josephine. Yes, how you'd like to respond to that?
Yes, in response to that, we do work with organizations who are on the ground in different counties, recognizing that especially the 6 coast counties, we have a partner there. We work with Sauti ya Wanawake Pwani, and they have different community reach programs in the different counties, all the way from Tana River to Kwale and beyond. And so what we can say is that it's it's the onus of the different community organizations and the different community members to share the stories with us. So we'd encourage you to contact us directly. The best way to reach us is facebook.com/Women in the Red, or on Twitter at WGLG Kenya, and share your story. And for us, we want to take every opportunity to share these stories, interact with our media partners, and find a way to really carry them forward.
Okay, the platforms that you've given now for people to get in touch with you, just like I said earlier, is very urban.
Yes.
What about those who are not able to reach social media?
For us, we've had a chance to also reach those who are on radio. So if you have a phone, you've had a chance to maybe send a message in to Radio Maisha. We've had a chance to do that with Radio Maisha here. And what we've found is that even when people don't have access to social media, they do have access to someone who has a radio, has an opportunity to talk to their local leader, to talk to people within their community, within their county. And that has actually had a groundswell effect of bringing people closer to their leaders, talking with amongst themselves about community issues, and really bringing those concerns to the very people who can actually make a difference in them.
Okay. Purity, leadership, I believe, is born out of a need within that wants to see a change without. And we've just come from the beatification of Nyadha, as she's known in Nyeri, and this is a leader in her own right. However, being recognized 85 years after her great impact on society. Now, as a young woman leader, what would you say to young women out there who possibly have a misconstrued idea of leadership because of what we see from our leaders? If we look at our women leaders, we see them in parliament, we see them in business, but there are those leaders who are silent, yet making a very positive impact. What would you say to those young leaders?
I'd tell them to focus their energy on what they love doing the best, their talent, either it's their profession. If they enjoy what they're doing, let them be a leader in that. I've found so much, there's so much impact, especially when there's a leader as a woman. You make a lot of change and you're able to inspire other young women, because as a woman, you have to work twice harder than anyone else.
Why does one have to work twice harder?
Because there's a lot is expected from you as a woman. So as a young person, they need to take up the mantle and take up leadership position and influence change, because even 85 years down the line, people are going to see, and they're going to be inspired by the story.
Okay, and how big is Network Josephine in terms of Women in the Red? Are you spread throughout the country? Is it an international organization? How far is your footprint?
In Kenya, we have reach into the 27 counties where our partners work, and through our radio partners, we have a national reach. But globally, Women in the Red is a Kenya campaign of Women and Girls Lead Global, and we are based in Kenya, Bangladesh, Peru, Jordan, and India as well. And so we have a chance to share these stories not only on a national platform, but also on an international platform, as we are the only country in Africa that's hosting this initiative currently. And we really have had a really tremendous response to the stories that we've shared, because people can relate to them regardless of their background and regardless of what their expectations are for women in those communities.
Okay. Purity, you've been through formal school and you're just about to finish campus. Do you feel like in the curriculum and through what you've been education-wise, you're equipped as a woman ready to lead a society?
I always say I'm a student of life. I still learn and learn, and I'm from my campus and also from the little experience I've had in leadership, it's something I would actually take up.
Okay.
Anytime.
But do you think the curriculum is good enough for you to be prepared as a woman leader, or do you think that more needs to be done, specifically targeting the women?
More needs to be done, yeah. But the curriculum is amazing. It gives you a chance to time to do something on the side and also try things out.
Okay.
As a young person.
All right, Martin in Nanyuki. Good morning, Martin.
I'm very fine.
Yes, thank you for calling.
All I want is to congratulate Purity, because she's doing a very good job.
Okay.
She's doing a very good job, and she's inspiring us, the young leader.
Thank you.
And
On
I'm
her
very
behalf.
happy to see that for KTN.
Okay.
And I'm very happy for her. And she tell her to keep up.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Well, you already have a fan there, and congratulations in that. Now, I'll ask the same question to you, Josephine, in terms of our curriculum and our education system. Does it prepare women for leadership?
I believe that it does. There are opportunities at every level to exert yourself. There's opportunities to take up science, technology, and mathematics, to exercise your creativity, whether you're in music or languages. We do have quite a robust curriculum. There are so many opportunities also to inspire students to become part of that system, to become teachers, lecturers, to become examiners, to set exams, to also think through what are the options for girls and women. And also the way that the system takes students through school allows a lot of leeway for women to actually engage in careers where 20, 30 years ago there weren't that many women participating. And so you've seen obviously the growth of that number of women, but there's still a lot that we can do, especially in agriculture and tourism and so many sectors where the system of education prepares us to enter.
Okay. Purity, you've mentioned majority of your mentors, or two of them at least, are in politics. Are you thinking of going into politics?
Maybe, especially in Nakuru.
Okay, what changes would you want seen?
There's a time when I was in first year, I was looking for a job in Nakuru. Yeah? It took me, I dropped CVs everywhere in Nakuru, but and I didn't get a job. And I see that's the challenge most people in Nakuru are going through. So you find young people have so much energy and invest in maybe in a movie shop. And I think there's so much they can do with entrepreneurship, since getting jobs in Nakuru is it's very hard.
Okay.
Yeah, so for me, I think I'd really concentrate on entrepreneurship, especially in Nakuru.
And job creation.
Yes, and job creation.
Well, thank you very much, Josephine Karianjahi and Purity Wangoi. And let me bring in Sophia now. And Sophia, today you're in black, you're not in red. But do you think women are in the red?
Taking charge of those red areas, as she was mentioning earlier, I think it's very important that women rise up to even tough situations. And you're asking her when she talked about women have to work twice as hard. I mean, just look at the current debate on the 2/3 majority, or rather 2/3 gender rule, and it really is from that place that society's scales are tilted against the women. So it goes without saying then that women are unfortunately in such a place that have to go and work that bit harder, extra mile. But I was wondering, on your mentor, Shebesh, so she has been in the headlines because this goes without saying over some not so good stories at times. So how is it then you know what to pick from somebody and what not to? Do you discuss those issues that many ladies would go out there and say, you know what, not much mentoring, at least in the right direction on this particular issue. So how do you handle that?
I was in the same category of, maybe she's bad or, those many things. But once I got to experience her on a personal level, I saw a lot of, like, what I know her in the media and as a woman in person. I think so much is exaggerated when a woman does something and they don't get to know what she is doing or what good things she is doing out there. So as a person, I just tell them, yeah, she's my mentor and I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm sorry to put you on the spot because I'm sure there's somebody watching and wondering, on those issues, how is it you handle it? Because no one is perfect. I'm not saying a mentor should be this, perfect person. But also when it's a leader, then a lot more is expected of them. And you'd imagine when they're then caught up in controversy, how they handle it again goes in a huge way to say of what kind of a person they are. So I guess you figured a way of sieving all of that out. Well, thank you for joining us, ladies. Great to have you. I just want to read some of the feedback we also got from you this morning. Many of you on the way it is this morning had quite your views out here on Twitter. So just some of them. You have Daud saying it was a nice ending. Moses Njoroge, you were caught by that statement, or it's not Okoa Kenya, it's Bomoa Kenya, as Senator Wamatangi said, of code. Then we should stop playing politics with matters of security. That's Njoroge. Felix, you said Weda makes me laugh when he says when Duale speaks and when he keeps quiet, he should be treated the same. And then you thought Michael here, Mutula Kilonzo is laughable. Okay, he laughed quite a bit today on the show, but hey, this discussion is contentious and needs more time because it has such serious issues it is addressing. Anyway, we must wrap up, so we're now there with Michael. Michael, it is you've come closer to me.
No, you could pronounce it as issues. It's still acceptable according to Willie Suching.
In my head,
it doesn't have
issues.
a disdong. A disdong is an English thing. I just keep hearing him saying that. I have no clue what that means. I'll probably talk to Betty Chalo and find out what it means. But yeah, interesting debate you had on the who it is.
Yes.
And very fire. I even had to ask a gentleman, what did you guys have for breakfast? They definitely came all very prepared and were standing their ground on what they believe in, which is good sometimes to see people who are principled and not being wavered just because, you're pushed to the edge.
Yes, indeed. But on that story, on the 60 days, time has lapsed on the investigations that was given by the president. So what will happen going forward? Today is a big day. We'll see if the EACC CEO will say any more than he did yesterday, which is that they need more time. So will we see more time being given by the president? However, investigations still continue, and this week crucial because we'll also get to know what happens to the 4 cabinet secretaries.
Right. And he had promised that he was going to make a big announcement this week.
Yes.
So we hope that the big announcement is not just requesting for more time. But then again, we do have a culture of claiming that we're going to make announcements and release lists, which doesn't happen. So hopefully he's going to make a big announcement today or tomorrow. So we are looking out for it.
Indeed, we're looking out for that, and PSC has been conducting interviews for PSs. What does that mean going forward? Will we see some changes? It's all a wait and see, but you can trust as it happens. You'll hear about it first right here on KTN, so watch subsequent bulletins. Also online, our presence is there. You can always get those updates there. Thanks for watching. Have a lovely day.
Have a great day, and remember, tomorrow on Person of Interest.
Yes, tomorrow on Person of Interest. Oh, you don't want to miss it, because I'm having breakfast with Ida Odinga and Raila Odinga in their house, and they got to speak very candidly about the loss of their son Fidel, how from the minute how they found out and events as they unfolded thereafter. So you definitely don't want to catch that. Ida got very emotional at some point just talking about it. So that's on Person of Interest as we hang out with the Odingas.
Yes, you don't want to miss that. She said you don't want to catch that. But anyway, I guess it's been a long morning, and you said you don't want to catch that. And,
you don't want to miss.
It's been a long morning and it's Monday, but from us here at Morning Express and those behind the scenes, we wish you all a fantastic day, and thank you for being with us. Have a good day.
You don't want to miss tomorrow's show.
Just clarify.